Hey, what's up, Craig? This is a quick demo video for you for your TFU2. Although we just went over this in a video chat, I'll just go over everything now again, and then I'll post this to YouTube, and you always have something to refer back to in case you have any questions, or you could reach out to me. But got this done. This was a CFX rebuild. So it had CFX in it, but it had a 24mm speaker. It had a static battery with a recharge port. And then you had some things going on up here as well. So I gutted all that out. I did a CFX, but I wasn't able to use your board that you had in there originally. There was a lot of damage to different MOSFETs, and then also one resistor I found too was pretty damaged. So I did not want to put that back in here. I just gave you a brand new board. Did that. This particular chassis I've got, we'll unscrew this handle. There's a lot of threads. This particular chassis I've got acts as a PCB holder too for your main pixel. So I gave you the CCSabers LED pixels in here. And if you can see that, those pins are the only thing that's coming up into the blade socket. So you've got plenty of depth, if you can see that depth in there between your pins and your blade retention screw, which is right here. We'll go over that in a second. So basically, you know, I wire this chassis out here, put that PCB in, and then I slide everything in, and then that goes in exactly where it should. Also, I added a pixel right underneath this red jewel. So this guy is gonna light up. It's not gonna light up a bunch of different colors because this jewel's red, but you will see it light up. So that's what I did there. Switch is pretty much the same. I did take all the wires off the switches. I just rewired everything while I was in there. Your front button here your front tactile is your activation. Your back tactile is your auxiliary. Didn't reuse your board, but I did reuse your SD card. I noticed you had a bunch of sound fonts on there and you had it set up a certain way. So plugged that into my computer, checked it out. Everything was good to go to reuse there. So that's what we did. This does say the Fallen Order right here in Arabic. I'm sorry, it does not say Fallen Order. It says the Force Unleashed. Sorry, I was thinking about something else. The Force Unleashed. Right here in Arabic. And then it says CCSabers over here in English. This is one of my older chassis designs where I was still doing my name in English. So that's what you got over here. You do have speaker pogo pins right here. And these go to your 28mm speaker now that you've got in this guy. And that's located at the back of the handle. Like I told you in the chat, this never needs to come off. I'm just kind of taking it off right now to show you what's going on. It sits flush with the end of that guy. Speaker PCB right there. There's a spacer in here, and then I put the actual speaker holder with the speaker in here, and it sits in there nice and flush. And on top of that, this actually helps hold it in. This is a press fit in, but this inner diameter of this lip also holds it in. So, you know, between the handle and this guy being screwed on, that thing never moves. I mean, you could... Nothing. I did wrap your handle with the leather that you sent. So I'll just kind of twist that around so you can see that real quick. Started up top, ended at the bottom right here, all the way down. So that's your handle. Your chassis. Your board sits on top. I did put all of your wires underneath the board minus the switch wires. So your switch negative and then your activation and your auxiliary will sit up here on top of the board. This is an extremely tight fit. The only other person I've known that has used this chassis for a CFX is my buddy Benji over at Nerf Herder. I sent him one of these for his CFX build, and he's got a video up on it as well. This is a bit of a cram food job to get a CFX in here. It fits Profi much better, but that's tight as well, right? Because of this diameter of this chassis, and then having to put the board here and then the battery directly underneath it. And you can see I don't have much of a battery cradle in there. I've got it slightly up here on the edges that you'll be able to see in person where it just curves for the battery to sit in, but I had to take all the top of that cradle out to make room for the board. And then I also wired the board upside down. I usually like to wire the CFX boards with the SD card facing up or on top, but I was able to get a little bit more clearance by wiring it upside down and putting it this way. When putting the handle on, you're gonna wanna watch out for that orange piece right here, right there on the board. And I showed you on the video when we were chatting how to put the handle on with the battery, but I'll do that again on here. So, you know, again, you can see it. We'll throw a battery in. Spring side here, this is going to be the negative side of your battery always. Don't put your battery in backwards. I just have to say it. I'll be probably saying a lot of things going forward that I don't necessarily have to, but at least then I can say I did it. So, battery's in like that. We're going to put your handle on. You like to hold it like that because your thumb right here is going to come into play with that board, right? Because you're going to put your handle on and you get right here and you're going to need to press down on this board a little bit to make sure that this handle clears your micro USB slot and that orange little resistor I was showing you. It's that easy. I did it while we were talking, and then once you get past it, just like that, you're home free. But because it's so tight, you know, you're going to need to use your thumb and your fingers and press the battery and the board together when you're sliding past this handle. When you're taking the handle off, you don't need to worry about that. And I'll go over that with you too on this video. We'll put it in, we'll fire it up, and then we'll take everything back apart. So now that we've got this handle tight, right? Speakers engaged, activation. You hear how loud it is. We'll turn it off. Oh, I forgot to show you your jewel in case you missed it. And you can see your jewel lighting up. Just like that. So it will mimic the animations of the on and off with your LEDs. You just won't get any different color really than red, but it's still pretty cool. So we'll throw a battery in it. This does take a 1-inch diameter blade. I'm sure you know already. You can push this guy in as tight as you want because the bottom of that blade socket catches the blade, and then only the pins are sticking up so it's engaging the springs, right? Activation, just like that. We'll turn it off. Hold auxiliary to go to the next sound font.
Selection.
Hold down the button when you find one you like.
Category 5 Kaiju approaching.
You got some cool sound fonts on here. We'll go to another one.
Sound bank selection. Tarsus Fury.
We'll try another one, just so that you can see. You have quite a few on here. I won't go through them all. But I just want you to see that.
Master, the Chancellor is very powerful. You'll need my help if you're going to arrest him.
Everything's working. Got your music.
Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?
Turn it off. We'll turn the music off. Double tap on the activation to turn it both off and on. Yeah, so that is your Saber. You see it's working. Now we'll take everything back apart. Let me just take this blade out real quick. Just like that. Now, like I said, when you're taking the battery out and you're unscrewing this handle, you don't need to worry about the board so much because it's the inner diameter of this handle that you're getting past when you're putting it on. So it's already down in there when you're taking the handle off, if that makes sense. Boy, this thing's got like about 50 threads on it. All good. So we got that. We're just going to pull the handle right off, just like that. We're going to come in from the positive side and pull that out. Just like that. I did put a little bit of adhesion on the same side of the board as that piece that I told you to watch out for, so that this stayed in a particular orientation, but you can still come down and press it down and the battery when you're putting the handle on, and you don't have any worries. You can take your SD card in and out from here without ever moving the battery. You can start it from the top, and then I usually just come down here from the bottom and then grab it with a pair of tweezers or something. It's really easy to do. I did it 4 or 5 times after this thing was all wired up, and I never moved the board. So once I get the battery out, put the handle on, and you're all good to go. And just slap it on here. So activation, auxiliary, 28 millimeter speaker, removable battery, CCSabers LEDs, and a light up jewel right here. Let me know if you got any questions. If not, I'll try to get this out in the mail to you today. Thanks.